I'm not what you think I am.
What's up, guys? So I just finished watching Captain Marvel. This is the first time I've seen this movie since since 2019. I think 2019 was the last time I actually saw this movie. So it's been a little bit. And I can tell you this movie is a lot worse than I remember it being. I remember back then thinking, oh, this is good. Not great, but it's good. And I remember watching it again thinking, okay, this isn't good, but it's okay. It's okay. And I definitely thought it was bottom tier MCU for me, but watching it this time around, this movie's just, it's boring. Like, it's boring. I just was watching it and I never felt engaged. I wasn't at all intrigued at anything that was happening. You have a main character who the entire movie she's constantly the whole movie is basically her telling people, oh, I don't know who I am. Oh, you don't even know who I am. I don't even know who I am. And I'm just like, and you have some villains who are weak. The people who ultimately turn out to become the villains, which is the Kree. Ultimately they're pretty lackluster villains of the MCU. There's some mildly entertaining action sequences for the most part. There are a couple of fun little jokes here and there. But for the most part, I just don't think this movie is that good. And I think the best part of this movie is the mid-credit scene because it's connection to the next movie that we're about to watch now, that we're about to watch tomorrow, which is Avengers Endgame. Like literally, that's the only reason why you watch Captain Marvel. You don't watch Captain Marvel for the whole movie. You don't really watch it for the whole movie. You watch it mostly for that mid-credits scene because of its connection to Avengers Endgame. Unfortunately. And it's kind of unfortunate because I really do like Brie Larson as an actress. And the directors of this film, Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden, I really like them as directors. I just don't think they were the right fit for a project of this scale. Especially for something like this that takes place in a connective universe, because this movie, one thing that this movie also does, it kind of contradicts other films within the MCU. Because the Tesseract we learn in Avengers was fished out of the ocean by Howard Stark. But then we get to this movie, and so we just assume that the whole time S.H.I.E.L.D. has had the Tesseract this entire time. Since Howard Stark was one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're just supposed to assume that S.H.I.E.L.D. has always had the Tesseract this whole time. Well, apparently that's not the case anymore. Apparently, Marvel at some point must have gotten the Tesseract at some point and used it to create her light speed engine or whatever. It's like there's little things like that kind of contradict things in the MCU. There's little things like that make you go, wait a minute, but that doesn't really make sense with what happened previously. And also, like, you have Captain Marvel upgrades Nick Fury's little pager and says, "Okay, this thing will call me if you need me, but you can only use it for emergencies only." Okay. Battle of New York, city falling from the sky in Sokovia. I don't know. I'll just wait till half the population starts disappearing, then I'll call you. Had several big emergencies beforehand, but I'll wait till half the population starts disappearing, and then I'll call you. Like it's stuff like that that makes you go, huh? Nah, this doesn't really add up. So yeah, Captain Marvel, just not a very good movie, not a good addition to the MCU, and I think it's actually one of the worst films of the MCU, to be honest with you. I think it's down there for me with Dark World for me. Because watching it this time around, I was watching it this time around going, wow, this is bad. This movie's pretty bad. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Captain Marvel, guys. Join me tomorrow where we will conclude. Well, actually, no. Yeah, no, because the Infinity Saga technically ends with Far From Home, but we are near the end of the Infinity Saga, because tomorrow we will talk about Avengers Endgame.